Hey everybody, Chomsky here. Uh, just wanted to talk about Robar. Dude's gonna get buffed, most likely next week, and that's awesome. Because I have way too many of them, and yeah, unfortunately, I used a 5-star blessing for him as currency, like a couple 2 tree uh, soul events. So I don't have them blessed whatsoever. But nonetheless, I looking forward to building them out. To which I have 2 versions on them. But before I get into all that, thanks for being around here and listening to this. Uh, so his rework, I will toggle here. Um, his rework is kind of wild. Um, his A1 becomes an AoE, tosses increased accuracy and attack on him. Additionally, he tosses decreased defense and a true fear for 2 turns. Once it's fully booked, I imagine. Uh, that's pretty wild. Oh, sorry, that's the A2. That's Wild Swing. Apologies. The A1 still has the basic. It's not going to get changed, I don't think. Uh, yeah, I don't think that's going to get changed whatsoever. It's just attacking one enemy, place a coin flip of putting a stun debuff, grants an extra turn if the stun is placed. Okay, that's the A1. Fine. The A2 is what I was talking about with the AoE, increase accuracy, increase attack just on him, and then tosses out an AoE decreased defense and a 2-turn True Fear. That is wildly huge. So wild, I'm going to minimize that. Wildly huge. 2-turn True Fear. That is, I. That's a game changer, man. That's huge. I, I, I'm amazed. Uh, so I'm pumped for that. His A3 is that he's attacking all enemies. He's ignoring 20% of each target's defense and shield buffs. So I don't give a shit about shields because they're useless to him. So that's really rad. This is the big one. His damage increases if the target is under fear, true fear, freeze, provokes, sleep, stun, petrification. Um, and that's a 3-turn. So there's a mastery out there, which this is a spoiler, that only increases that percentage some more. So in all reality, what you want him to do is go quick enough to essentially attack again after that A2 of the Wild Swing. If there's a True Fear out there, he's doing buku damage there. That's big. And then here is his passive. He fills this champion's turn meter by 15% whenever a fear, true fear, blah, 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 is placed on an ally, excluding him. Okay, cool. Get it. Fills all ally turn meters by 15% whenever this champion places a stun debuff on an enemy. Okay, so is A1. Not a big deal. Counterattacks with a stunning strength, that's his A1. Whenever an ally from the Orcs faction is attacked, occurs once per turn. All right. And then he gets bumped up 5 speed on his base. No one's really using accuracy in faction crypts, so his aura is going to be bogus. But he gets five more speed. All right, not bad. Basically gets a counterattack whenever one of his buddies and orcs gets hit. Cool. I'm for it. His A1 is a stun. Coin flip for a stun. All right. And that apparently happens, from what I am reading it as, whenever an ally is attacked. So if there's an AoE, he's attacking once. If, you know, there's multiple hits against multiple enemies, then he's hopping in and attacking. That's awesome. And there's no cooldown. There's no, that happens on every hit. That seems rather ridiculous. Um, awesome, but kind of ridiculous. So I have 2 built. Okay, And I'll talk it through. One is with Feral, 9-piece Feral. So this way his buddies could do just a little bit more based on the debuffs that he's placing. All right. He's going to be putting out decreased defense, true fear, as well as stun potentially. So 3 debuffs. I'm cool with potentially more damage out there. So got him in Feral. A decent Feral set, not the greatest. I didn't want to take away from my mainstays. So here's the stuff left together. 53 HP, that's fine. Almost 7,000 attack, 277. That's not that fast. So I would love to get this just a little bit faster. Ideally, after a cleanser, you know, I want that cleanser to go, and then I want him to go with the decreased defense and true fear. So this way I'm not dealing with total guard or a block debuff, you know? So it depends about who else is in his party, and which I'll get to that too. Have him almost crit capped, almost 350 crit damage, 250 resistance is basically nothing, and then almost 420 accuracy. All right, cool. I have him in a Gaze of Damnation for a little bit more accuracy and crit damage. He deals 2% more damage, stacks up to 10, and receives 1% less damage for per skill not activated by enemies under fear or true fear debuffs. So, okay, he's dealing more damage out there, as well as he's receiving less damage. In addition to that, he's going to deal 20% more damage, and he's going to gain turn meter whenever an enemy loses 25% or more HP. So the thought process here, I'm putting out that A2 out there of decreased defense and um, and the true fear, and then hopefully I'm going to bounce around quick enough till I get to his A3 where he's ignoring a fifth of the target's defense and an AoE and shield buffs. So I'm dipping into that damage, uh, as well as my relic, as well as my mastery that I'm going to show you, and trying to basically cause havoc out here. Uh, I I think that's going to be massive. The fun part is getting all that to work. I could bump this up, get a little bit more crit damage, a little bit more accuracy, but I think these two are going to be nuts because a fifth more damage here, in addition to more turn meter for him to bounce back. That's all right. Uh, as I alluded to, with the masteries, the big one was this: the opportunist. Uh, it's only going to be one. So if the target is stunned and feared, are they going to get another 12%? No. It's a flat 12%, and that's fine. So opportunist, I feel, is going to be a pretty big win here. Putting bloody shield is going to be. I'm not going to have him with a lot of HP, so I want him to be sustainable too. So let me get a shield on him. Alternatively, I could do a kill streak. You know, I don't know if I'm really going to bring him into arena or siege, but if I do, I wouldn't mind kill streak instead of that shield because really, those are just mercenaries. And then here, methodical I think is a standard because he's going to be using his default skill. That A1 with that stun, fantastic. Let's get that going some more. On the flip side here, I got a little bit wonky because I was like, do I want defense here so this way I could do deterrence and maybe have him sneak in and do a stun on that enemy. I chose not to. I chose to go a little bit more accuracy here and turn meter, when one of his 3 debuffs, ends. A little bit more stats. And then I chose Spirit Haste just because, like, in case somebody dies on my side, I want to avenge them. And Sniper and Master Hexer, I'm basing it on fear. Sorry. decreased defense could be extended, could be placed. That's fine. But there's others that do that too. So I I, I was okay kind of bypassing that. Uh, and honestly, having him get a little bit faster, I'm not mad about that. So this is the tree that I went down. Um, the other build that I was alluding to there um, was to ignore more defense, right? Um, but I don't like this idea because, damn it, because I was taking it off some of my, I was taking off doggo, and I don't want to take that off my dog. Um, again, pretty much scrapped together, but the accessories, I just don't have that many. I gain a little bit more attack. I lose some speed, I lose some crit damage, I lose some accuracy, but I gain a whole lot of ignore defense. Uh, as it stands right now, I want to try the I want to try the other set. Uh, it kind of blends into what I kind of want to do, and that is um, really to have a solid team of orcs. Like I know that it's been mentioned for faction wars, but having them with Doggo and Shayak and Argaz, I think that would be a ridiculous combo team right there. You get the ability for him to attack every time one of his orc buddies gets hit. Okay, cool. And then you also get the passive from Crowcad in case if Packmaster gets hit, in which he's going to have taunt on him. Okay, cool. And then you have the synergy that his provokes are not going to be, resisted. Cool. Uh, and and then whenever an ally kills an enemy, like Robar, I want like this whole build is about, gets an extra turn, an instant turn. Sorry, like that could be ridiculous, man. Um, so again, kind of pumped for that. Anytime Plarium does a rework on an old champ like that, that's pretty cool. I've had a shit ton of Robars, as you saw. Um, it's unfortunate I don't have any blessed, but I will be putting them in the wish list now. I could see myself using them, you know, just to have fun with them. Uh, Even though I mentioned that I wasn't going to use that mastery for siege or arena, like I think siege battles could be really fun with them, as well as really annoying because, again, as much as Plarium is doing it for us, it's also for them to crank up the difficulty levels that they're already in. So let's just be mindful of that too. He is going to be kind of a twerp to deal with. So I'm excited for it. It increases the levels that we're going to play with him. Um, it'd have been cool if there was a graphical change because the dude still looks busted. Um, but yeah, I think he's going to be some fun. Yeah. So yeah, those are my quick thoughts. I look forward to messing around with them and maybe giving it an update later. Until then, find me on Twitch, Noman my Chomsky, and let's talk up some shop. Take care.